Hello, how are you? KimShaper here. Today we're going to be talking about why sex helps with your stress. So good sex releases hormones that help how your entire system works. So if you think about it, if you are stressed, typically you're not going to have the best sex life. And then that in turn will put strain on your adrenals. And then it's going to be this vicious cycle. So you have stress, you're going to feel tired, you're not going to want to have sex. And then what happens? You're not going to want to have sex. So you're going to feel stressed, you're going to feel overwhelmed. So you're essentially repeating this cycle that is actually no good for your hormones. I know the last thing you want to do is come home and have a romp session in the bed when you're tired, you've been dealing with clients and work all day and kids running around. But I can promise you, if you try to have sex, even if it's once a week or even less than that. So I want you to think about it this way. When you're stressed, you are not going to have a high sex drive. The last thing you're going to want to do is jump in the sack and bang one out. It's just not going to happen, especially after you've been running after the kids, you've been, dealing with people at work, you just been stressed, you're over it, right? Here's where the problem lies, is if you are not having sex, you're typically going to feel more stressed. And then with more stress, you're not going to want to have sex. So it's this vicious cycle. And yet, if there's a way in which you can find a way just to break the cycle, find ways to achieve orgasm periodically or just whenever you can, I promise it's going to help your overall life. It's going to help your hormones. It's going to help your mood, your energy. Adrenals, think of it this way, they sit right up top your kidneys, and these are the glands that secrete hormones that drive up your libido. So if your adrenal glands are kind of shot, you're feeling really tired and fatigued, you're drinking copious amounts of coffee, you're just not going to have the drive to have sex. And typically when your adrenal glands are kind of shot, you're not going to have high testosterone. You're not going to have even regular testosterone levels, which in turn makes you want to have the sex, right? So if we can put that aside for a second and really focus on, okay, how can you achieve an orgasm? Why are orgasms so important? Orgasms are so important for females because they drive up your estrogen, which releases oxytocin. I'm not sure if you're familiar with oxytocin, but oxytocin is the love hormone, the hug drug. It's very prevalent in babies, and they need it at a young age to feel attached to their mother. And yes, even into adult life, we need the oxytocin. It's what makes us feel close and connected. Now, does it mean we have to go out and have sex with everybody? No, we can hug each other. I don't know with the COVID, but you know where I'm getting at. But when we release this oxytocin, it creates a sense of calm, this sense of overall general well-being. And when that happens, we feel amazing, right? We're actually going to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe I do want sex a bit more. And sex often reminds me of the gym. We dread going. We're like, oh, we don't want to go. We're putting it off. We're tired. But when we get to the gym, we're like, okay, it's not so bad. I'm glad I went. And then after the gym, you're like, why don't I do that more often? And I feel like that goes to say with sex, especially when you achieve a healthy and enjoyable orgasm, you're going to come into that calm state rather than that fight or flight state that so many of us deal with on a chronic basis. You're going to release dopamine, which is just an amazing neurotransmitter. So it's going to give you that pleasure reward. One thing I do recommend is sex before bed if you can. It really helps put your system in, again, that relaxed state. It's going to help you sleep better. And I can promise sex will be better than popping 2 Valium. Okay, so let's jump into it. What are some ways that you can fast track your way to better sex, better orgasms? Number one is if you're struggling with having orgasms, which many women do, it's very common. So it's okay, normalize it, you're not crazy. One thing I really recommend, especially if you feel like your relationship is healthy, you're in a good place with your partner, is to definitely get your hormones tested. You could easily be low in testosterone and your sex hormones and estrogen. So I highly, highly recommend getting your hormones tested. If you are struggling with low hormones, especially again, your sex hormones, you're not going to have the desire to want to have sex. Another thing you can do is get better sleep. I can promise you, if you get more adequate sleep, it's going to affect your overall health and well-being. And in turn, you're going to have more of a desire to have sex. Number three could be just a change of scenery rather than you feeling the need just to go in your bed every time to have sex. If the opportunity presents itself or you're able to get away from the children, see if you can find another area to have sex. It's a great way to connect with your partner on a different level. Make it fun, make it spontaneous. For women, it's not so easy just to immediately turn on and be horny, right? For the majority of us, it requires some effort, it requires some prep, some, foreplay, if you will. So my suggestion would be, go back and think about the times when you're with your partner and things felt really exciting and you were in that honeymoon phase. And one thing you can do is, text each other throughout the day, say that you're excited to see each other. Maybe you're giving each other hugs or you're touching each other sometimes throughout the day, or just finding ways to flirt. That really helps a lot, especially for females, to create that sense of foreplay and excitement prior to the sex. There's been research too that shows in brain scans that the part of the women's brain that is responsible just for fear and anxiety, that starts to shut down a bit the closer we get to orgasm. So allowing that to happen, not trying to balance your checkbook and stress about all the things you have to get done or how you might be feeling within your body, just really honoring that you are close to the orgasm, that you're feeling amazing, and that you are ready to have this great climax. Did you also know that your lips are packed with nerve endings? So your lips are 100 times more sensitive than your fingertips. So kiss, touch, all of those good things, they really make a difference. And finally, communicate with your partner. Tell them what you need, tell them what you like, what you don't like. That sets you up for confidence, that makes you feel empowered, and that really sets you up for a great sexual experience. So I hope you found this helpful, and now go have sex.